Hello, we're going to look at the matching parenthesis function. Then I'm going to write a program in C++ which does this. What is the function going to output? It's going to return a Boolean function. It's going to say whether the parenthesis is matched correctly or not. So the return is a bool. Let me just call the function parenthesis match. And what should it take as input? It's going to take an array of symbols, right? So character AR, and you also should give the length of the array, right? So it's basically a string of symbols, and I'm going to note down the symbols are going to be. Let me just have a symbol. I'm going to define the symbols, the opening symbols to be right. These are my opening symbols, and similarly, what are my closing symbols? And as you could notice, I'm putting it in the correct order as so. The zeroth opening symbol and the zeroth closing symbol match. The first opening symbol and the first closing symbol match. Right? Similarly, the second opening and closing symbols match. Okay, so clearly, you can add more symbols if you are interested in. Okay. Now, now the boolean, the parenthesis match function, and it's going to use our stack data structure. So I'm going to have my stack data structure, which is going to be this something we saw. We're going to go through the symbols in the string. Okay, and first thing I'm going to do the following. I need to check, right? I need to check with whether the current symbol I'm going to see is if AR comma I, if this is an opening bracket. I need to check whether this is equal to an opening bracket, right? Okay. So for that, I'm going to write a function here, which will check whether it's an opening bracket or not. Okay. So bool is open, right? It's going to check whether it's an opening bracket or not, and how does it. So let me just write that, and it's going to go through. Now I also need to have a number of symbols. Right now it's 3. Right? So I'm going to have the for loop is going to go through these symbols, and it's going to write check whether if it's happened, it's going to return true. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to return false. Okay. And so therefore, I can just use this function. I'm going to use this function here. It's going to say open bracket, and it's going to say I just check whether it's an opening, and what is it I need to do if it's an opening bracket? I just have to add that stk dot push. Yeah. What if it's not a opening bracket but a closing bracket? So I'm going to check whether if it's check if it's a closing bracket. So else if And in this case, what is it we need to do? Okay, so let me first write a function, the closing bracket function. It's going to look very similar to opening bracket. Just that in place of open symbol, I'm going to look for close symbol. And if it's a closing bracket, rather than I'm going to do some like, let me do the following. I'm going to make this into int, and it's going to return I plus 1. So what I did is the following. This is to make our life easier. What I did is I'll just explain what we just now did. Okay, now what we did now is, if it's a closing bracket, it's going to return the index of the closing bracket plus 1. Okay, so it's going to be either 1, 2, or 3. The number will be 1, 2, or 3. If it returns 1, it means it's this bracket. Okay. If it returns 2, it means it's this bracket. If it's the square closing bracket, if it returns this, it means the curly closing bracket. Okay. On the other hand, if it returns 0, it means it's not a closing bracket. Good. Good. So if it is a closing bracket, if y is greater than 0, what is it we need to do? If y is greater than 0, you need to check whether the closing bracket matches with its corresponding opening bracket. So for that, you just have to see whether open symbol of y minus 1, you need to see whether this bracket matches with the top of the stack symbol. Okay, so let me do that. I'm going to check whether if stk.top equal to, just pop, right? Stack is we just pop. If it's not, else we're going to return false, meaning there's some problem. Right. There's one more thing we have to check. We also have to check, sorry, this bracket should have. Okay. We also should have checked whether stk is empty. If the stack is empty, we had to return false. Okay, so finally, now seems to be okay, and finally we have to, so at the end of the for loop, we go through the entire string. We have to check whether the stack is empty, and if the stack is empty, we return true, otherwise we have to return false. Okay, so I didn't put out of semicolon. The problem with switching between Python and C, it missed the semicolon a lot. This is our matching parenthesis function. Thank you.